Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Bricky Walters, and welcome to the market update for March the 6th.
He's the mortgage wise guy, wise guy.
So, we're going to be talking about the Iran conflict, its effect on inflation and mortgage rates. But first, we want to cover the BLS job report, which comes out the first Friday of every month. That'd be today. You can see the forecast was to gain 60,000. We actually lost 92, difference of about 152,000 jobs. Over here, you can see the average job gains over the last 3, 6, and 12 months is very anemic numbers, and we saw some downward revisions to the previous 2 months as well. The household survey gives us the unemployment rate. It ticked up from 4.3 to 4.4. We'd have had another 100%. It would have been rounded up to 4.5. And the average duration people are unemployed is the highest since February of 2022. All very negative job numbers. Normally, that would cause the market to throw a party. Mortgage rates would be lower because the 10-year Treasury would rally. But the news is really only centered on what's going on in the oil markets because of the Iran conflict. And you can see that crude has spiked about 28% this week. This is just the chart of this week. And why is that? Because the Strait of Hormuz, which is where 20% of the world's oil passes through, only 21 miles wide, and obviously narrower than that for the passage where the ships can go through, is being threatened by Iran. And just people aren't willing to risk their tankers going through there. So 90% of the traffic has dropped compared to previous weeks. And that's what spiked up the cost of oil. So, for a historical perspective, if we look back in 2020 after Soleimani was assassinated, you can see that oil went from 60 to 66, but was back to 58 within 10 days. Similar pattern after the October 7th attack by Hamas on Israel. You can see it started at 82, spiked to 90, but was back at 83 within 2 weeks. Similar again in 2025, last summer when Midnight Hammer, when we struck all of their nuclear capabilities, oil went from 65 to 74, but was back to 67 within 2 weeks. And the 10-year Treasury actually was lower as a result after that period. So, regardless of the reason, out of the last 10 times oil had a sudden spike of 20% or more, which is happening right now, the market was measurably higher only twice out of those 10 times. So, 80% of the time it comes back lower. And you can see here the 10-year Treasury yield for benchmark, it's the benchmark for mortgage rates. We were seeing some great progress over the last couple of weeks, and that's where we were a week ago today. But unfortunately, because of the Iran conflict and the concern about the cost of oil and it fueling inflation, we've seen a run up. And this little candlestick right here shows a very possible reversal. I really hope that's what that means, and we might see some lower yields and lower interest rates going forward. We'll see if my predictions come correct. The good news is that there's an opportunity out there for your buyers. People are hesitating. I do believe that mortgage rates are going to continue to come down and be in the low sixes, high fives, and even lower this year to the mid fives. So get out there, don't hesitate, and tell your buyers it's a great time to buy. Have a great weekend, everyone.
He's the mortgage wise guy.